Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who spent months obsessing over his ex. Every morning, the first thing he did was check her social media, looking for signs. Was she happier without him? Was she missing him? Every time she posted, he felt a pang of jealousy, of longing. He replayed old conversations in his head, wondering what went wrong. And then something clicked. He realized that the more he fixated on her, the more power he was giving away. He was trapped, not by her, but by his own energy, his need, his desperation, and so he did something radical. He stopped chasing, he stopped watching. Instead, he focused on himself. He hit the gym, started a new hobby, reconnected with friends, and found joy in his own life again. Then, like clockwork, something unexpected happened. She reached out, not because of some mind game or manipulation, but because the energy had shifted. He had stopped needing her, and in doing so, he became magnetic. That's the secret, one most people never figure out. Attraction isn't about chasing, it's about energy. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you. Step by step, you're going to learn how to transform your mindset, shift your energy, and become so irresistible that they can't help but come back. This isn't wishful thinking. It's science, psychology, and a little bit of magic. Ready? Let's begin. Quick heads up, guys. Most of you will never get real advice about women. You're guessing, messing up DMs, ruining relationships, and feeling lost. Here's the truth. I'm the only one who can actually help you get real results. And for the first time ever, I'm offering something I've never done before, a personal one-on-one chat with me. You'll get direct advice on your specific issues, whether it's DMing, sex, relationships, or anything else. No fluff, just real answers. This is a game changer. It's you and me, one-on-one. No more wasting time on advice that doesn't work. I've got 4 packages available, but this is only for guys who are serious about leveling up, and VIP spots are limited. Link is in the description. Let's get started. Point 1. Understand the energy connection. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt tension in the air without anyone even speaking? Maybe you sensed that 2 people had just argued, or that someone was in a bad mood even though they were forcing a smile. That's because energy is real, it's powerful, and whether you realize it or not, you are constantly projecting energy, positive or negative, into the world around you. Think about this. Have you ever noticed how people can pick up on your mood without you saying a word? It's almost as if they have a sixth sense. When you're anxious, desperate, or insecure, it doesn't just stay locked inside you. It radiates outward, like a signal that silently tells others, stay away. And here's the kicker, that energy impacts how people respond to you. When you operate from a place of neediness, whether in relationships, business, or life in general, people instinctively pull back. But when you shift your energy to confidence, certainty, and self-worth, people are drawn to you like a magnet. Let me give you a real-life example, not just any story. One about someone who understood energy better than almost anyone, Steve Jobs. Before Apple became the global powerhouse it is today, Jobs faced what most would consider a devastating setback. He was fired from the very company he created. Imagine that. He built Apple from the ground up, poured his entire heart and soul into it, and then got pushed out. Most people in his position would have collapsed under the weight of failure. They would have sulked, blamed others, or given up. But Jobs, he understood something most don't. Energy dictates outcome. Instead of letting that moment define him, he redirected his energy. He didn't dwell on what he had lost, he focused on what he could create. He poured himself into a new venture, Next, and later acquired Pixar, revolutionizing the animation industry in the process. His belief in himself never wavered. His energy was aligned with success, and eventually, Apple came back to him. Not only did he return to Apple, but he transformed it into one of the most influential companies in history. The iPhone, the MacBook, the iPad, all of it happened because Jobs knew how to channel his energy in the right direction. What does this have to do with your situation? Everything. Right now, if you're in a place of heartbreak, longing, or desperation, your energy is working against you. You might think that texting them, checking their social media, or over-analyzing their every move will somehow bring them back, but in reality, it's repelling them. Why? because you're chasing. And the more you chase, the more they run. Instead, imagine shifting your energy completely. Imagine stepping into your own power, focusing on you, and rebuilding your confidence, not for them, but for yourself. Imagine radiating an energy of certainty, knowing that the right things, the right people, and the right opportunities will naturally gravitate toward you. That's how attraction really works. That's how people come back, not because you beg or chase, but because you've transformed into someone they can't ignore. And that's exactly what we're going to unlock, step by step. By the time you're hearing this, the course is available again, but only for 50 spots. This is your final chance to join. Act quickly or risk missing out. Point 2. Shift your focus to yourself. Let's get something straight. The most important person in this equation isn't them, it's you. Right now, you might be obsessing over what they're thinking, what they're doing, and whether they'll ever come back. But what if, instead of pouring all that energy into someone else, you redirected it back to yourself? When you fixate on another person, especially from a place of neediness or desperation, it creates resistance. It's like trying to hold onto sand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you shift your focus to you, something magical happens. You regain your power. You stop seeking validation, and suddenly people start noticing. Let me tell you about Muhammad Ali, not just as a boxing champion, but as a master of self-belief and personal energy. Before Ali became the world heavyweight champion, he was just a young boxer with a big mouth and even bigger dreams. People laughed at his confidence. They thought he was arrogant, that he was all talk. But what they didn't understand was that Ali wasn't just saying he was the greatest. He believed it. He knew it before the world did. Even after losing his title and facing setbacks, he never begged for opportunities or chased after validation. He doubled down on himself. He trained harder. He worked on his mindset. And when the time was right, the world came to him. Ali understood something most people don't. When you believe in yourself so deeply, others have no choice but to believe in you too. Now, what does this have to do with your situation? Everything. Right now you might be thinking, but I want them to want me back, and that's okay. But paradoxically, the fastest way to attract someone is to stop making them the center of your world. Think about it. When you project an energy of I need you, people can sense it. It doesn't matter if you say all the right things. Your energy is still screaming lack, insecurity, fear, and that energy pushes people away. But when your energy shifts to, I am whole, I am thriving, I am enough, everything changes. Suddenly, you become someone people are drawn to. You radiate confidence, peace, and fulfillment, qualities that are irresistible. Imagine this. Instead of spending your days stalking their social media, overanalyzing their text, or waiting for them to realize your worth, what if you redirected all that energy toward you? What if you focused on becoming the most confident, fulfilled, and magnetic version of yourself? What if, instead of trying to prove your worth to them, you became someone so radiant that they couldn't ignore your worth? Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I already had everything I needed? Close your eyes and truly visualize it. What does that version of you look like? How do they move, talk, and carry themselves? What kind of energy do they put into the world? Do something just for you. When was the last time you did something that made you happy? Not for them, not for anyone else, just for your own growth, joy, and fulfillment. Maybe it's hitting the gym, learning a new skill, or simply taking a solo trip. Do it, not to impress anyone, but because you deserve it. Reframe your mindset from lack to abundance. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, their attention, their love, their validation, start focusing on what you do have. Your health, your ambition, your talents, your dreams. When you operate from abundance, you naturally attract more abundance. So here's the challenge. Forget about them for a second. Seriously, just for a moment, shift your focus inward. Because the truth is, when you stop chasing, when you stop seeking validation from outside sources, something incredible happens. People start chasing you. Not because you tricked them, not because you played games, but because you became the kind of person who doesn't need to chase in the first place. And that, not begging, not overanalyzing, not waiting, is the secret to truly winning. Point 3. The power of letting go. Let me tell you a story. Before the world knew Harry Potter, before the billion-dollar empire, before the movies and global fan base, there was just a struggling writer, J.K. Rowling. She was broke, unemployed, a single mother trying to provide for her child while battling depression. If there was ever a moment to give up, that was it. No one would have blamed her for thinking she had no way out. But here's the thing. She didn't wait for someone to come and save her. She didn't sit around hoping for a miracle or dwelling on what she didn't have. Instead, she took control of the one thing she could, her passion. She let go of fear, self-doubt, and the idea that her success depended on external circumstances. She focused on what set her soul on fire, writing. And because of that decision, she transformed not only her life, but the lives of millions around the world. That's the power of letting go. Most people misunderstand what it means to let go. They think it means giving up or not caring, but that's not it at all. Letting go doesn't mean you stop wanting something. It means you stop needing it to feel whole. It means you release the desperate grip you have on something or someone and trust that whatever is truly meant for you will find its way. Imagine you're holding a handful of sand. If you grip it tightly, trying to hold on to every single grain, what happens? It slips through your fingers. But if you relax your hand and hold it gently, it stays in your palm. That's how life, love, and success work. The tighter you cling to something, the more likely you are to lose it. But when you let go and trust the process, things flow naturally. Have you ever noticed how people who are genuinely happy, confident, and at peace seem to attract attention effortlessly? It's not because they're chasing after anyone. It's because they radiate a kind of energy that draws people in. When you stop fixating on them, whether it's an ex, a crush, or someone you wish would notice you, you create space for something incredible to happen. You shift the energy back to yourself. You become the kind of person people want to be around. This is why self-focus isn't selfish, it's magnetic. When you start doing things that make you feel alive, hitting the gym, traveling, picking up a new hobby, spending time with people who uplift you, your energy shifts. You become more vibrant, more fulfilled. And guess what? People notice. Suddenly, the person you were chasing, they start to see you differently. They sense something is different about you. They wonder what changed. They become curious, not because you played a game, not because you manipulated them, but because you genuinely became someone worth wanting. So how do you actually let go? How do you stop obsessing, stop chasing, and start living? Shift your focus to the present. Stop living in the past, replaying old memories, or worrying about what the future holds. Focus on now. What can you do today that makes you happy? What can you create? What can you enjoy? Do things that bring you joy without any agenda. Whether it's picking up a new skill, traveling somewhere new, or reconnecting with an old friend, start doing things for you. Not because you want to impress someone, not because you're hoping they'll notice, but because it genuinely fulfills you. Release the outcome. This is the hardest part, but it's the most powerful. Detach from the need to control what happens. Trust that what's meant for you will come, and if it doesn't, something better is on its way. Letting go isn't about losing, it's about winning. Winning back your confidence, your joy, your peace of mind. Point 4. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the need for validation. Let go of the urge to control every outcome. Let go of the fear that you are not enough or that happiness is something you must constantly chase. When you release these limiting beliefs, you create space for true growth, peace, and fulfillment. Only then can you step fully into your power and attract the opportunities, relationships, and experiences that genuinely align with your energy. You may have heard the phrase, let go and let God. It's not just a cliche, it's a profound life philosophy. It's about surrendering, trusting, and understanding that sometimes the best thing you can do is release control and allow life to unfold as it's meant to. When you loosen your grip on outcomes, you give the universe room to work in your favor. Look at Steve Jobs, for example. In 1985, he was forced out of Apple, the company he built from the ground up. Instead of desperately trying to cling to what was slipping away, he embraced the uncertainty. He went on to start Next and Pixar, both of which flourished. Years later, Apple brought him back, and he transformed it into one of the most successful companies in history. Had he resisted change and fought to hold on to what was crumbling, he might never have reached his full potential. By letting go and trusting the journey, he allowed something greater to take shape. This principle isn't just about careers, it applies to relationships too. Imagine holding a butterfly in your hand. If you grip it too tightly, you crush its wings. But if you open your palm and allow it to rest freely, it may choose to stay. The same goes for love, friendships, and connections. When you cling too tightly, out of fear, insecurity, or the need for control, you often push people away. But when you trust, when you allow space for things to evolve naturally, the right people stay and the wrong ones drift away, making room for something better. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means understanding that what is meant for you will always find its way to you, without force, without struggle, and in perfect timing. Surrender to the flow of life and watch how effortlessly things start to fall into place. Point 5. Become irresistible by loving yourself. You might believe that by holding on tighter, you can stop things from slipping away, but in reality, the harder you grip, the more pain you cause yourself. Clinging to what no longer serves you, whether it's a relationship, a situation, or even an outdated version of yourself, only drains your energy and keeps you stuck. The moment you let go though, something powerful happens. The pain starts to fade and you create space for something better, perhaps even the very thing or person you've been longing for. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring, nor does it mean you're giving up. It means choosing to trust the process of life, believing that what is truly meant for you will find its way, without force, without desperation, and in perfect timing. When you release the need to control everything, you step into a flow where things begin to align effortlessly. So, how do you actually start letting go? The first step is changing the story you tell yourself. Instead of thinking, I need them to be happy, start affirming, I am already whole, and the right people and experiences will naturally find me. This isn't just some feel-good affirmation, it's a shift in mindset that reprograms the way you see yourself and your worth. The truth is, you don't need external validation to feel complete. By shifting your internal narrative, you reclaim your power, reminding yourself that you are enough as you are. You no longer operate from a place of fear, but from a place of trust and self-love. And here's the beautiful part. When you embrace this mindset, you become irresistible. Not because you're trying to be, but because confidence and self-assurance are magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who exude inner peace and certainty. There is an undeniable power in someone who doesn't feel the need to chase, force, or cling, because they know that the right people, opportunities, and experiences will come effortlessly. Think of the most captivating individuals you've encountered. They aren't the ones desperately seeking approval, or constantly trying to hold on to what isn't working. They are the ones who stand in their truth, radiate self-respect, and trust that life is always working in their favor. When you truly let go and trust life, you stop wasting energy on what's slipping through your fingers. Instead, you redirect that energy toward your own growth, joy, and fulfillment. And that's when life surprises you, when things begin to unfold in ways more beautiful than you could have ever imagined. Point 6. Reclaim your power. Let's be honest for a moment. Self-love isn't some overused Instagram slogan. It's not about posting a cute selfie with the hashtag self-love and calling it a day. True self-love goes much deeper than that. It's about how you perceive yourself, how you treat yourself, and how that perception influences every aspect of your life, your relationships, your work, your health, and your inner peace. Self-love isn't just a feeling, it's a mindset, a practice, and a way of being. It's about choosing to value yourself, not based on external achievements or the approval of others, but because you recognize your inherent worth. When you start to embrace your own value, something extraordinary happens. You stop seeking validation from others, and instead, you start radiating the energy that attracts what is truly aligned with your authentic self. Think about the energy you project when you walk into a room. Have you ever noticed someone who seems to own the space, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that commands respect and admiration? They might not be the most conventionally attractive or the most outwardly impressive, but there's something magnetic about them. They're not trying to impress anyone, they just are, and that is the power of self-love. You've probably seen this in action, whether at a social gathering, a meeting, or even just walking through a store. There's always that one person who doesn't need to speak loudly or make grand gestures. Their presence is enough. It's the energy of someone who is completely comfortable in their own skin, someone who doesn't apologize for being themselves. They are unshaken by the opinions of others because they have already accepted themselves fully. That energy is contagious. You can't help but be drawn to them. Now, let's put this concept into perspective with a real-life example. Imagine you're sitting at a coffee shop, people watching. You glance over and spot two individuals. The first person is sitting comfortably, sipping their coffee, enjoying the moment without a care in the world. They're smiling, relaxed, completely present. There's no sense of anxiety or self-doubt. Then there's the second person. They're fidgeting with their phone, looking around nervously, as though unsure of themselves and their place in the room. They're seeking something external to validate their worth, their presence. Which person draws you in more? It's likely the confident one. Why? Because confidence is magnetic, but what you're actually sensing is the inner peace that comes with self-love. The person at ease with themselves radiates energy that invites connection. Confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from embracing who you are, flaws and all, and standing in that truth without apology. This is the kind of energy that attracts opportunity, respect, and genuine relationships. Oprah Winfrey once said, "You don't become what you want. You become what you believe." Think about that for a moment. If you constantly believe you're not good enough, that belief will influence everything you do. How you walk into a room, how you communicate, how you allow others to treat you. It will even shape the kind of people you attract into your life. On the flip side, when you truly believe in your worth, when you know you are amazing just as you are, you will start to show up differently. You'll walk into rooms with your head held high, not because you're perfect, but because you know that you are enough. When you make that mental shift from "I'm not enough" to "I am more than enough," you begin to see yourself and the world around you through a different lens. Your self-belief becomes the foundation of your life, shaping your actions, decisions, and relationships. You will start attracting people who see your value because they sense the value you place on yourself. Opportunities will begin to open up, not because you're pushing or forcing things to happen, but because you are in alignment with your true self. The universe responds to that energy, providing the right people, experiences, and success at the right time. This is the beauty of self-love. When you love yourself, you no longer chase after validation. You don't need approval from others to feel worthy or enough. Your worth comes from within. The energy you project is one of peace, authenticity, and strength. People are naturally drawn to that because it's rare, it's refreshing, and it's magnetic. Now, here's where the real power lies. The more you embrace self-love, the more you reclaim your power. You stop giving away your energy to things that drain you, whether it's toxic relationships, unfulfilling jobs, or self-destructive thought patterns. You stop apologizing for who you are. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop living for anyone but yourself. And the moment you do that, the world begins to mirror that energy back to you. Life becomes a reflection of the love you have for yourself. So how do you start this process? You begin by shifting your focus. Start with your thoughts. What are you telling yourself every day? Are you reinforcing the idea that you're not good enough, or are you affirming your worth and potential? The thoughts you think shape the reality you live in. Start today by changing that internal dialogue. Practice self-compassion. Embrace your uniqueness. Let go of the need for external validation and start validating yourself. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Instead, trust in yourself and the process of life. Allow yourself to evolve, to make mistakes, and to grow without judgment. Stop holding on to old beliefs that no longer serve you and create new narratives that empower you. You have the power to create your reality. The moment you truly embrace your worth and step into your own power, you become magnetic. You become the person who walks into a room and owns it, not because you're trying to impress, but because you're already impressed by yourself. The world is waiting for the real you, the empowered, self-loving, unapologetic version of yourself. So, what are you waiting for? The time is now. It's your turn to reclaim your power and show the world who you really are. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you, today is the day we reopen the course because I truly care about my community, but this time there are only 50 spots. That's the absolute best I can offer. This isn't for everyone. There are no handouts, no second chances. If you don't act today, you'll be left behind, and someone else will take the girl you like. And just so you know, this is the last time you'll get the course at this price. Next time, it's going to cost more, if there's even a next time at all. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.